You can tell me what it is. We will be closing the doors now. Manu, please close the doors. We are waiting for you to settle down. So once again, a very good evening. Yes. Has the door been closed, Manu? Please. Ha. ये नहीं है. All right. We are overjoyed to see you. We are also very excited. It's just that our way of expressing is a little different. So we can understand your excitement. I, Shubhra Gaur, Registrar MICA, extends a warm welcome to each one of you on behalf of entire MICA community. I'll show you a few visuals. The first one over here is, I'm sure you can read it there, but I still make note of this. Not just, because it's written in the black, not just another brick in the wall. So all of us are very fortunate and privileged to be in an institution like this, which says this, believes this, and allows us to have our individual journeys. Allows us the individuality to say we are not just another brick in the wall, which all educational institutions have been wanting to achieve, and which in a very short time we have been able to achieve. This we will demonstrate in a little while. This is the picture which is of a visionary, the founder of MICA, Mr. A.G. Krishnamurthy, doing the puja just before the laying of foundation stone. And here it is. The MICA then, the building coming up with browns and the greens now. And I was very fortunate to have been actually welcomed by him, not as a student, but as a faculty. So the day I joined, he was there, and he said to me what I'm going to say to you verbatim. So he said, congratulations, Shubhra. Of course, I'll remove the Shubhra part, fill in your names. Congratulations, made MICA help you achieve all your dreams. And this is what kept me going. There were ups and downs, but this is what kept me going. In fact, he has written many books, and dreams comes as a theme of his books. Every time he talks about dreams, and that's what leadership is all about. So not only, this is one aspect, founding of an institution, and very few people did it, and people have added to it, including the few rows in the front of the faculty, current, and the ones who are not here, but mentored our MICAns from day one. So 91, MICA was founded, and since then, they have been. So this is a tribute to him, and now I will do something which is very, very auspicious, and it marks a new beginning, marks a new chapter in your lives. So I invite the chief guest, Mr. Venkat, Director Jaya, Dean Dr. Hegde, Dr. Suresh and Santosh, please join, and Janvi Singh from FPM, Janvi Singh from FPM? Yes, please. Please join us here near the lighting of the lamp. Raj Singh from PGDM. Raj Singh? Are you there? Yes. And Akshita Jain, PGDM-C. So may this lamp lighting invoke all the spirits and transform all of us. And now I invite Director and CEO MICA, Ms. Jaya Deshmukh, to give her address. She's the first batch MICAN, and more to her. You will find the onions, rings, onion layers getting peeled as people come on the stage. And you will see the variety and diversity on stage in a little while.
My dear MICANs, welcome to MICA. From one MICAN to the other, you have arrived. Okay. Some of my faculty asked me that, Jaya, actually aisa hota hai kya? That when I stand here, and this is my third time, right, that I'm doing this, and do you really feel what you say you feel? And the answer is yes. When I come and stand on this stage, I get goosebumps, right? And you can honestly, come and have a look. I have goosebumps, right? And the reason I have goosebumps is because I see your faces, with so much of hope, so much of joy, so much of pride, and I see my 21-year-old self, right? Just so that you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the gray shirt, t-shirt, I'm looking at, yes, that was my seat, right? So, like you, I have come here, I have sat down and spent 2 years here, and then left MICA as a MICAN. And the journey took me to all kinds of places, right? I started out in market research, ended up doing work in telecommunications, did my startup, took a break, had children, right? And some of you will experience this, that you will choose to have children and then take a break. And then you come back after 5 years and suddenly you're 5 years behind your classmates, right? And you have to work really, really hard to recover. And some of you don't want to do it, which is perfectly fine, but I wanted to, right? And so how do you balance, young children and a career and a home, and somehow manage to make it? And then you find yourself doing a startup, you sell it, right? Make a bit of money, promptly lose it, and then and learn, you have the scars, and you pivot into technology, something that I had not done, and find yourself leading, Cognizant Interactive for Europe, and then you're in Microsoft doing M&As and business solutions, business strategy, move into corporate strategy for Google, and then go there thinking, gosh, now I've made it. Here I am, head of, strategy for Google Cloud. It is sexy, come on, give it. It's a very sexy title, right? And I hated it. Right? Hated every minute of it because I didn't fit in. Culturally, I didn't fit in. Beautiful company, but I like working in teams. So it was a bit different. But post that then went into coal. So I went from, think of my journey, I'm a fine arts student, right? From fine arts to M&A, to technology, to building up go-to-market strategies. I was doing something that I didn't think I could do. Okay? But the reason I could do it and the reason I was successful was because of what happened here. And so when I turned 50, yes, I'm that age, my daughters asked me, ki, Mama, what do you want to do? Are you going to continue to do this? You know, take a pause because you will have grandmother duties in 5 years' time. So, ja Simran ji le apni zindagi and go discover yourself. So what do you want to do? And you know what I said? I thought, and I was lucky that this happened, I could come back. So my 50-year-old self could have a conversation with my 21-year-old self and tell her, hey, you know, I sat there, right? On that place where I sat was when, you know, the first person to get placed, the announcement was made and it was me. So I'm your ground zero, right? I was also, my engagement also was announced here because you will see that, you know, we find each other here, right? The first to get married, right? So all of those ground zero moments, you know, kind of come back to me. And the reason for being here is recognizing that and feeling totally indebted, grateful, and therefore, you know, coming back to speak with you, to have this privilege of working with you as you do your magical journeys, right? Because trust me, what's going to happen from here is awesome, magical, tears, hard work, but transformative. Okay? And the biggest joy I have today is that I stand here speaking with you from this wonderful position, but I do so, just like you, a little scared because my professor is here. Right? He taught me. Right? Marketing. So I better do well. But so given this background, right, given this context, and the reason I told you my story is because in a few years, some of you, maybe all of you, are going to come back here and tell yours. Right? So it begins here, and this is ground zero. And so with that, I want you to take a bow. This is what happened, right? So, 8648 applications, and I'm going to explain this a little bit. 1,000 odd called for GEPI, and 328 of you selected across these 5 programs that we have, right? Now, when we talk about 8648, there are double the number of applications, right? These are the applications that we accept, right? So the kind of percentage of getting through, right, is low. And less than 3%, 4%, 2%, you know, every year it's a bit different, right? What I'm trying to say to you with this is look around you. Look around you. You are here based on your merit. You made it, right? So take a bow. It is not easy, but you're the batch, you're the chosen ones who have gotten through. And you've come from everywhere here. So you come from 23 states and union territories. So you represent India, right? And you've all come from these varied backgrounds. You have diverse perspectives. Something you'll see in MICA, we believe in pluralism, which means that we encourage you to have differing thoughts. We really welcome it because we think that's when the best solutions come through. So you come, you represent that pluralism, and through that, you come home. This is your home, this forever, right? Forever you get to call MICA your home. And this is the one destination, this is where you have come. And from this point onwards, when you'll say, yes, I'm from Delhi, or I'm from, like, for example, I'm from Nagpur, but you will also say, I'm from MICA. And so here is this, you know, the Google Map thing. You have this. This is you. So you found your home, but that's not it. You have also found your tribe, right? Now, throughout my young youth, right, my parents would always say that you're a bit different, right? I didn't fit in the normal thing. So the story that I tell is that I read a lot of books. I was a nerd, and there's a book that I really, really love called The Loving Spirit by Daphne du Maurier. So here, try and imagine me in pigtails in Nagpur, you know, about, I'll say about 13, 14. I was reading that book, and it was moving me, and I was crying, you know, like, you know, really crying. And my father gets worried. He comes in and says, "Hi, Zala, what happened?" And I said, no, it's such a beautiful book. And he looked at me and he said, you must be crazy. So I'm sure that your parents, you know, who are watching this have been more supportive, and, you know, you might be crazy, but they understand you. But what's beautiful is that you understand each other, right? We understand you. We have been with you, right, through this journey. And so you have found your tribe, and I can tell you this, that my batch is celebrating 30 years. We talk to each other every day, right? Even today, and it's not happy birthday, good morning, right? It's actually, we talk to each other every day, and we love each other. You'll meet some of my batchmates as well who will come over. So this is your tribe. It's your tribe for life. This is your safety net. Look at each other and extend a welcome to each other, because you found your soulmate. It will happen literally, right? There will be some heartbreaks as well. Let me tell you, I have cried, right? There'll be some fun moments. The fountains that you see were the fountains where we played Holi. I also remember crying on the shoulder of Alpana to say that he doesn't love me. So that is going to happen, right? So, and that's understandable, because, you know, you are at the cusp of becoming, right? You're at the cusp of becoming. This is the kind of age profile, right? And what we're trying to show you is, this is the 20s is the most amazing time, because you've been there, and now you're in the shaping, right? And what you do, you're going to have an impact. So this is the most, it's magical. I have never laughed as much as I laughed at MICA those 2 years. And now, you know, when I've come back, the faculty and the staff, all of us, we really laugh a lot. More interestingly, we also study a lot, right? I have never studied this much as I've studied now, not even when I was here as a student. So this is your, you know, your becoming. Enjoy this. And the wonderful thing about MICA and MICA students is that you're a powerhouse of talent, right? Now, 224 of you gave us some information about the kind of talent that you have. And, you know, of course, you know, there's dancing, writing poetry, storytelling, UX, modeling. There's a power lifter, right? A couple of power lifters, like, you know, that's an interesting talent. But we also have a Ranji level cricketer, Ranji Trophy level cricketer. We have some people who are extremely, competent in Kathak. We have quite an eclectic group of you, and this is normal for MICA, right? Last year also we had, you know, a Ranji Trophy player, etc. So you have a lot of talent, right? So apart from your academic prowess, you have talent, right? Explore that with each other, what you have. So you have talent. But the beauty about this talent and what actually happens is this, okay, that your talent in these hallways will meet the histories of the leaders of India, right? So right here where you sat, like, right, where you're sitting, in these hallways, in these, you know, the hostels, Chandni was my hostel, right? You have leaders. So the CEO of Tata Starbucks is a MICAN, right? In HUL, you know, the executive director is a MICAN, Right? The president of WPP is a MICAN. The president of Accenture Song for Data and Analytics is a MICAN. The deputy director or the deputy dean of Essex School for Asia Pacific is a MICAN. I can rattle this on. We also have a nationally renowned stand-up comedian, right? We have a Grammy-nominated musician. We have filmmakers, we have national award-winning authors, we have journalists that have been really feted for what they do. So we have all kinds of amazing people who have studied in these hallways, right? Who have sat where you sat. So your talents will rub against these, will meet and collide with these histories, right, of these leaders. And I know that when I speak with you and why I get goosebumps is that I know sitting right now in this crowd are these leaders of tomorrow. Right? And I'm going to meet you 15 years from now, right? Probably being, I don't know if that's the flavor of the season, being the CEO of Anthropic, right? Or right? There are people doing some insane things. We have a MICAN who teaches 750,000 students on a digital platform, right? Teaches them STEM subjects, right? That's okay. On music, through music, right? He does Coldplay concerts, raises money, and then through music teaches algebra on a digital platform. Right? We have people working with farmers to ensure that they have enough, they can be off the grid and they have water supply. So I'm just saying that MICANs do awesome things. And so all of you sitting here, right, will do awesome things. That's a given. Right? So try and find out the histories of those who have lived in your rooms and your spot in the mess, right? Or your chair, because everyone has a chair in the classroom. Look at the histories and hope for this to rub off on you. And in doing so, right, you get to add to the graffiti in our living walls, right? Now, this one here is an actual graffiti. This is our graffiti. This, you might find it, this one is also ours. All of these are ours. So you get to, no, not everyone has the privilege to do this, right? You get to actually create graffiti on our living walls, add to some of the most beautiful statements that have been made out there. And that means you're just joining an extremely powerful community, right? From this day onwards, extremely powerful community. But to really join in this powerful community, this 5,000 of us who are out there, you need to allow yourself to transform. So in the time you spend here, the next 2 years that you spend here, you have to allow yourself, right? This is important. If you choose not to transform, if you choose not to engage, nothing's going to happen, right? The magic happens when you must have heard, how many of you have heard trust the process, right? Trust the process is this, right? So trust the process was when, my batch told the batch that came in that trust the process. Right? And this is a legacy going on from 1996, right? That we've told, trust the process. So for doing that, you really need to join. If you see, that's the logo, our logo behind the wall. You've cracked open the doors, you're here. Now whether you put yourself through that or not is up to you, right? And this is very important, right? So for example, why is this so important? This is important because of what is happening in the world outside, right? Now, if you know, and you must have heard AI and everybody is bored of the word AI, but let's say this, that with AI, all of us can write, right? All of us have access to information, right? So during my time, my career, we were trained on how to gather information, how to, reason over it. So it was all about how the moat was around who had what information. But with AI, everybody has access to that. Therefore, what you're saying is the capacity to recall, organize, analyze information, which was a competitive advantage, right, is no longer a competitive advantage. It does not help discriminate at all, right? It's not a differentiator. So when information is not a differentiator, then what is? So what is the defining skill, which is what do you do with it, right? What do you do with that information? How do you think about new ideas with that information? What can you, can you imagine something very different? And that's why we say that we're transitioning from the age of information to the age of imagination. That's the transition. And you are at the helm of that. You are that pivot point which in this transition. And in this transition, in this age of imagination, the only currency is creativity. So creativity is the currency because it is only when you're creative, right, when you're imaginative, that you can think of new and novel ideas. Right? But at MICA, that's a known thing. For 35 years, that's what we've been doing. So in a survey that we carried out in December 24 to Jan 25, there were 1,000 respondents that we went to, and very robust way of going in, talking to these. These were industry, these were other institutes like ours, aspirants, media houses, faculty, all of them, and they were supposed to stack rank institutes, right? So rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, which is the most. And these were, institutes that were such as XLRI, SPJIMR, MDI, IMA, ISB, IIM Nagpur, Lucknow, Kohikote. So we benchmarked against that. Now what you're seeing is across the 1,000, without fail, they either ranked MICA 1 or 2, right? 1 or 2. And the top six, so authentic, diverse, innovative, ability to deal with ambiguity, caring, creative, this was rank 1, right? And we were ranked 2 on brave, modern, and articulate. So if you look at it, in the age of imagination where creativity is the currency, then obviously we are the best placed. You are the best placed. And your admissions and your selections are based through this particular worldview. And as a result, when we look at our MICA's vision, mission, and values, they come from that core. For 35 years, we will never let go of our core, ever, right? And so our vision is, MICA's vision is, we nurture creative thinkers in the age of imagination. So that's what we do. Now I won't read all of this, but like we shape change agents because we are really transformative, right? We get very bored. So this is an interesting quote. So what the industry said was that suppose we are at point A and we want to go to point B, right? And we want to optimize the path from point A to point B. Don't hire a MICAN, right? Because MICANs get bored, right? But you are at point A and you don't know B, C, D, E, F, G, X, Z, right? And you need to find a path, and you want to take everybody along, hire a MICAN, right? So that's who we are. In this age, which is so ambiguous, what is going on, we really need MICANs, and we are seeing this demand come through for us. Again, our values, if you'll see, it's being dialogic, empathetic, curious, having fortitude, being inclusive. These are very important to us. And we expect you to live this. In these 2 years that you're here, you will learn how to be this, right? Again, when we selected you through this lens. Do you have these characteristics? So, look at this every day. If there's one thing I'll say is that in your rooms as you paint, because all of you will paint up your rooms and do up your rooms, please put this up on your wall. Learn this. This is absolutely crucial to becoming a MICAN, right? And how do we translate then this vision, mission, values into something concrete, right? So for 35 years, we have been developing something called the MICA lens. So this is copyrighted, this is ours, so it belongs to all of us, right? So the MICA lens is our worldview, the way we look at the world, the way we engage with the world, right? And at the heart, the iris, as you can see, is the 5 C's. And the 5 C's are creativity, culture, communication, commerce, and community, right? So we look at everything, engage with problems, or we engage with solutions through this 5 C's approach. And that allows us to have a different view of the world. Sometimes the world can become very, techno-optimistic. So I won't get into that, that's one of my pet, themes. But we can be very techno-optimistic, or we can be very, finance-driven, for example. But what we at MICA do is to look at everything through these 5 C's and say, this is important, right? while we look at the world through these 5 C's, we recognize that there are tensions. So for example, we know that emerging technologies are like super important, right? We will say we should engage with technology. Technology has changed so much. We are here because of technology. But we will not lose sight of the fact that it needs to be human-centered, right? It has to be human-centered. And we understand it. So we are centrists. We understand that the balance has to be made between these two. The other one that we are very, very conscious, and you will go through this process here at MICA, is the geopolitics, because that's very important, and the environment. So for example, yes to technology, yes to progress, but not at the cost of 2 years of our lives because of air pollution. Right? So we need to think about this really carefully. And why is this important, especially for you? If it was the last 35 years, so if I take my journey was about, okay, let's modernize, right? So we've managed to take something called the per capita, have you heard about this? Per capita, GNI, right? Gross national income per capita. We've managed to take it to just under 3,000 USD. So that was my generation's challenge. How do we take everybody's income in this country to about this place, right? However, by 2047, Viksit Bharat, the commitment that we have made is we will go from under 3,000 to 13,000. Right? The responsibility of doing this rests with your generation. Right? Why is it so important? Because China, who also started with us, is already at 13,000. Right? And there cannot be a bigger dream than to take our wonderful country and make it a high-income country. Right? What does that mean? It means that the opportunities that 1.4 billion people of the developed world get will be available to the 1.6 billion here in India. In 2047, we are supposed to be 1.6. And that is our vision. Okay? We play a part in it. MICA plays a part in it. And all of you, more importantly, play a part in it. Since 1994, since my batch came here, we have always been 50-50. Girls and boys, 50-50. We continue to have that even today. Maybe we have slightly more women today. Now, why is this important? Because we have a national model. MICA provides an inspirational space for women. It doesn't mean it's not inspiring for the guys, okay? But there is something here. In other institutions, there are interventions made, right? In MICA, we don't need interventions, right? It happens. Because it's an intellectually inspiring space for a lot of women, right? Why is this important for Viksit Bharat? There's something called labor force participation ratio. So to go from 3,000 USD to 13,000 USD, we have to increase the productivity of the country. So more and more people should participate in the labor force or participate in the acts of production. Today, 73% of the men participate in it. So even if we were to tweak that a bit, you can go up to probably 85 or 87, then there are younger people, older people. So wahan pe kuch hone nahi wala. Nothing's going to happen with the, I shouldn't say that. Something will happen, but, right? But women, 30%, right? 30%. So if we can go from 30% participation to 60%, we will hit our goals, right? And MICA has always done that. Our women, even when they have taken breaks, and I take your break when you have children, if you choose to have children, or if you choose to take care of your older parents, or if you choose to take care of whatever you choose to take care of, you always come back and participate in the economy. So we have a model that is of national importance. And don't forget that, right? Again, this is something I can go on and on about because I'm so passionate about it. But that's the MICA lens, right? The ability to have this kind of conversation extempore is the MICA lens because we understand, right? And you will learn this. But you will learn this only if you engage. So first, understand that you are raw material at this stage. You're raw material with great potential to be a MICAN, but you are not a MICAN yet. It's going to take you 2 years. Now, our commitment, what MICA provides, right, is what you see on top. We'll provide you cutting-edge curriculum, an incredible pedagogy. We'll speak a little bit about it. You will experience it. Practitioners. So for example, in my classes, when I take a class, there are no chairs, right? Because we have an experiential way of learning. So we do a lot of that. We will get you in front of practitioners because, you know, MICA was created by practitioners. You should talk to Piyush sir because he wrote some of those early how we will engage with the industry. We do immersions, right? So you have it, it's all experiential, and we will mentor you. You will have the brightest and the best mentorship because all the alum are very eager to help you, right? So you will get this. But you have to do your duty, your obligation, right? So for example, I shut the door at 6. So some of you are not in this room, right? And this is intentional. So from day one, we are in a very, very competitive place. For us to show up is the first step. Show up on time, right? And you will see me hammer this in again and again. Show up on time, right? Show up dressed professionally, right? Show up. That's your number one duty. And once you're here, then show rigor. Reflect on what happens. You know, experiment on by yourself so that you can challenge whatever the professors are telling you, right? Create your unique point of view. I love it when students come to me and they tell me, Jaya, I don't think this is right. I think that is the way it should be. It's beautiful. So develop your unique point of view and network. Not just here, the kind of people we bring in to give lectures to you, they're awesome, right? And it is the network that gets you a job. So network, that's your obligation. And if you do this, right, engage with what MICA provides, if you do this, you will evolve and your resume gets built and you get a chance to build this, right? You get a chance to make the MICA lens your own. And then you become a MICAN. And this will happen on 4th of April 2028. Right? It goes by fast. It goes by fast, right? It is intense. You have never studied like this before, right? It will be things happening in the middle of the night and getting up at 8 o'clock. Please do have food, you know, hydrate yourself, exercise, but it is intense, right? This is a greenhouse. But if you engage, I can promise you that you will not just participate, but lead in the age of imagination. So welcome to MICA. I look forward to knowing you by name, right? I just wish you that, I wish I was sitting there right now. Thank you, Shubha.
Thank you. Thank you so much. What a wonderful, inspiring address. Thank you. And now I invite Professor Hegde, our Dean and Principal, to give her address.
Once again, a very warm welcome to all of you. I can see that MICA has already become a home for you in a day's time, and I think that is how MICA is, you know. It's very, very different, very magical, very exclusive, and you've seen that. And I've heard it a lot from different, you know, people and who have been MICAns, and it is definitely a tribe who everybody, and there are many people who would aspire to get into the tribe. And I've heard many a times, you know, people whom we meet, they said, I have applied for MICA and I didn't get it. So you are the less than 4% of applicants who've converted. This is like a Stanford or a Harvard standard, if you will. But of course, you know, I think the difference here is that I see a lot of people manifesting to come to MICA, and I see that in your posts and everything. Congratulations. And all the very best to you. A big shout out to the parents who are watching you now here, and, you know, and congratulations and welcome to you. You can clap for them, your parents and yourself. So yes, it is not easy to get into an institution like this, but then when you come in here, you must understand that you're holding a lot of responsibility not only to yourself, but to the society, to the people around you who have, you know, helped you in this journey. and and how do you give back to them? But I think that is with what you do and how you can transform yourself in these 2 years, and the next 30 years is definitely not going to be easy. There's going to be a lot of challenges. There's going to be a lot of possibilities. There's going to be a lot of hurdles. And how you overcome those hurdles is extremely important. And that is what we would like to facilitate and help you in MICA, that, facilitate to transform you. And as Jaya, director, already mentioned, it is in you to act upon it. Okay, the world perhaps now do not need people who are, or managers who think template, but the world perhaps, and we know that needs leaders who think possibilities. And, and through this 2 years, 4 years for FPM and 1 year for the PGCM students, we hope to give that, or we hope to facilitate through our curriculum, not only within the campus, but outside the campus as well. So I think it's in MICA where you learn even more, you also learn outside the campus and through your peers, and through all the, the Chota, the Idea Park, and your hostel rooms and the classrooms as well. And adding on to what Jaya said, I just got reminded of something which happened a few years back, that is about 2.5 years back, when we attended a competition of India Management Conclave. That is, this is for among the best institutions in the country, and we participated, MICA participated for innovative curriculum and pedagogy. So this was in XLRI, and we had this, and after the presentation of MICA, one of your faculty, and I was also there, and after the presentation of MICA, the current director of MDI had a question for us. And he said, what is it in MICA? I mean, the presentation was all about innovative pedagogy and what we are doing in, for curriculum. He said, what is it in MICA that you find your partners there? But of course, we won the prize, but, but I think as she said, organically, MICA has had this, male-female ratio since then. Because of the nature, because of our legacy, because of the capacity and capability building in the space of creativity and communication, then advertising, creativity and communication, and it continues. I remember a few years back, I think maybe about 10 years back, IIM Kozhikode was saying we have 15% reservation for women, and we filled it. But but that's what we are. So MICA is different in every possible way, and I believe that you should, make that, continue that difference, carry on that difference, and carry on the legacy, as already mentioned. So I will be talking about a few credentials of MICA and what we stand for, briefly, because you will, of course, in the years that you're here, and as already mentioned, it will really, really pass fast. But MICA is a nationally prominent institution because in this space, I don't think there is anybody else that, in the country, and we believe in this in South Asia as well, and we are the only residential campus, and the reason that we do all these things is to deliver excellence in India and in the space of higher education. We have been consistently among the top in the National Institute Framework ranking. This is extremely important because this is a prestigious ranking, and it is not easy to compete, with people of size. We compete with all the IIMs, all the IITs, and the universities who have management education, and they have size, but we have quality. So that's where we are, and NB. So, yes. So, yeah. So, and we are approved by AICTE in the NBA, that is National Board of, Board of Accreditation, and also in ARU, that is, we are Association of Indian Universities. The quality scores have been very high. already mentioned that you have a family of 5,000 plus alum who are closely in it and serving in the leadership positions among all industries, and very, very interesting about, the diverse industries that MICAns have been. And I think that is what you need to look at and see the possible, there's a whole lot of opportunities out there, and, take up that opportunity. So what we strongly believe in is the immense knowledge that the faculty and the research team has in MICA, and how do we really create the thought leadership and create the knowledge, be the knowledge creators for the world, and also disseminate the knowledge. And we've been doing this, and we've been among the top in a publication in the top journals of the world. Of course, you would understand this as in when you go ahead, as why the A's and A-star publications are important, and why dissemination of knowledge and creating knowledge is needed for an educational institution. So our schools, as we speak, we have 2 schools now. One school just, inaugurated in the morning, a new school, that School of Applied Creativity. The legacy is School of Management and our flagship programs, the PGDMC, preparing the managers to be customer first in industries through the lens of the 5 C's, what was already presented to you. The postgraduate diploma in management, which talks about and excel in in the area of business analytics and applied AI. FPM, the fellow program in management, is again very, very, well known all over the world, because we are the only institution in the country that provides international immersion for the FPM students as well. And in fact, many foreign institutions and many foreign research research mentors would like to be associated with our research scholars, and that you will see when you do your international immersion. And we will be adding a program, PGCM. This is a 1-year certificate in management program in sports management under the School of Management in 2027, that is next year, and the application call for will go out in this year itself. The newly launched School of Applied Creativity, where we had the first batch inauguration in the morning, of course, is again one of its kind, one and only, institution that talks about crafting creative communication and content and creator economy. Now, crafting creative communication is a legacy program, and you have many people in the space of creativity and creator and advertising and communication who have really worked with the best of the brands, and maybe you will get to know them as well. But this is now under the AICTE, it becomes a formal 1-year postgraduate certificate in management, which will help the students to actually, for further education and so on and so forth. So another, this again is very, very exclusive, the content and creator economy, which is the PGCM in digital media and marketing communication, focusing on digital content, social media, and the creator economy for the future-ready careers in the orange economy. And as you already know, the Viksit Bharat, one of the main focus areas for Viksit Bharat is excelling in the orange economy. So, and we will be also adding a School of Strategic Communication. Storytelling, narrative is our legacy, and we've been there, we've done, and we've excelled, and it only now, it's only right to actually start another school in the area of strategic communication. Now, we are very, very keen on really giving the best in the form of pedagogy or teaching learning. as I was, already mentioning, telling that somebody has to have empathy, or somebody has to have a creative mind, somebody has to be able to judge in the AI world, because these are the things that AI cannot do as well as humans do, is like telling, eat well and, exercise well. But what is important is essentially the how of it. And MICA has been living and breathing the how of, creativity and judgment and empathy. And, you know about the environment that we provide. You have the birds, you have the peacocks, you have, we live, all of them actually feel at home more than you in MICA. And occasionally, of course, you'll find some snakes around, but we let them be, and we actually let them live here. And that's the empathy that we're talking about. And of course, I mean, the empathy to human being and is actually knowing. It's not just about, knowing what the other person thinks, knowing what the other person wants, and the culture is embedded in MICA. So what we provide, we constantly innovate and change our curriculum and pedagogy. So here, if you see, there is 8 stages that we've worked on, and this is new. We might be experimenting on new as well, because we've been adding, as Jaya mentioned, to create an environment which is very, very immersive, and which is very experiential. So we speak about stage 1, which is principles and frameworks. Stage 2 about mental gym. As she already said, Micans can work in ambiguity, and identifying complex logical situations, understanding how it can be broken down into simple way of thinking and many diverse way of thinking, and so on and so forth. Immersions in real context, because we talk to corporates and companies on a daily basis. You will see MICA is one of the institutions perhaps which has the highest number of visiting faculty from the industry. In fact, we were called out for that, or we were asked by the international, we are also part of the international accreditation agency, which is called as AACSB. And they were like, why are you having so many people, and what is the reason? And we had to explain and tell that this is what it is. And MICA is an institution which does a lot of work with the industry and real life contexts. Digital double, narrative, visual and all. AI adaptation, we've been one among the first in the country to adapt AI in curriculum. 2 years back, when NVIDIA came to India, and it was Jaya who said that let's go there and also participate in NVIDIA conversations and the conference that happened. And during that time, I think MICA was the only institution which represented in that conference. And I remember there was a lady who was from IBM, and she said, "Where are you from?" And when I said I'm the dean of MICA, she said, "Oh, really? The only examination I failed in my life was MICAD." So, so these are real incidences. So I think, but we are there in AI. Our faculty are trained in AI because we want to really inculcate and be ahead of the time, and be ahead of the change that is happening in the industry, and be there and keep, make yourselves ready for the change. Studio apprenticeship, the entrepreneurship pathway, and also provide multiple pathways like entrepreneurship and the industry pathway. So this MICA studio is copyright by MICA. It's a MICAN copyright. And of course, the most important people that you will be, of course, the MICA has a large community. There's an ecosystem that will be all the time supporting you. But the people that who will nurture you, shape you, and will be committed to every dream that you want to, the dream that you want to fulfill and help you do that is your faculty. And of course, you might not remember all of them, but just to tell you how we align the MICAN, mission to the curriculum, that the content that we do, and also to show you the illustrious and the faculty members who achieved, and they are the specialists in their own areas and among the renowned people in academia. Some of them are industry practitioners who also come and teach here, but you will find a mix of all of them, but we are very, very particular about the type of, the faculty here in MICA, and also the areas and their work that they do in terms of knowledge, creation and thought leadership. So we have consumer and commerce. In the Faculty of Consumer and Commerce, Mr. Suraj Kishore, who is who's from industry. He's been an MD in BBDO and worked with other agencies. Santosh is our Associate Dean Academics, and of course the team. Very, very seasoned industry people, and who are passionate about teaching, and who bring in practice and also scholarly work to the classroom. I'm going to run through. You might not remember all of them, but you'll meet all of them. And I think they are the ones who would shape your future and shape your dreams. So please reach out to all of them. And there's a lot of interdisciplinary faculty as well who would be teaching you and helping you through. Another area is the Faculty of Culture, Communication and Community. People who've done seminal work, extremely intensive work in the space, and very, very interesting areas in this space. Professor Pooja Thomas is the lead. Rauf is the co-lead. And you have the faculty there. Faculty of Creativity. Professor Falguni Vasavada is the lead, and she is also the academic head of the School of Applied Creativity. Professor Sima, who was with the industry and now the faculty at MICA. Faculty in the space area of people, finance and operations. Professor Niyati Banja, who is the lead, and Professor Taral Pathak, the co-lead. And the faculty, and faculty supporting this area. Professor Sunita Mal, lead of Business Analytics and Research. Aditya Naisadam, the co-lead. Aditya Naisadam, again, is a MICAN. And the Faculty of Business Strategy, Consulting and Applied AI. Saurabh Pandya is a lead, and Advait is the co-lead. So you have a lot of people here to support you and help you in achieving your dreams. And if we are all set, we are ready. And if you are, let's begin. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Hegde. This is just a glimpse. So I'm not scaring you, but this is just a glimpse. And it's going to be an interesting, fun journey for all of you. And I invite with this Professor Santosh Patra, who's the Associate Dean Academics, to give you a glimpse, or rather a bird's eye view of the orientation program that begins from tomorrow. And while he comes, I do want to give a rejoinder. Please don't go by our innocent, kind, generous, loving, very compassionate faces, because when we get into our roles of associate deans and the registrar and dean, rules are rules. So over to you, Santosh, with that.
Good evening, welcome again. So many times welcome, right? So, it's after listening to director and dean, and when you must be brimming with pride, I am the chosen ones, we are the selected fews, We rejected 805,000 applications to be here. I hate to be here at this point actually to tell you that there is a difference at being at MICA and being MICA. So 22 months next from today to April 2028 will define that journey. And that's where we see that whether you have arrived at MICA or the feeling of being arrived, that the distance we need to figure it out. And of course, before figuring out the next 22 months, it's important to see that 22 months. And that's what we talk about this next 15 days, that the orientation we have planned next 2 weeks. So primarily I will not take more time to go because tomorrow early morning anyway we are meeting. So, to give in 5 minutes that what the orientation plan for you, but you must calculate all of that. Some of you must be good at numbers. So in 10 days exactly, we have 70 sessions planned for you, 70. So, and that's what the lens you are going to see next 2 years. And this 70 is planned because you have heard all those things that MICA lens, MICA 5Cs, MICA core, and that need to injected in your blood. So we are there to do that. So that all these next 2 weeks will revolve around these 8 clusters, and you have seen the glimpse of that when our director in fact closed the door at 6, and that will continue to be closed for that exactly, if I say 70 orientation sessions and 990 classroom sessions in next 2 years. So the doors are going to be closed 1070 times for you, so be prepared for that. So in these 1070 times, that 70 hours will set the context what is there in the MICA journey, and we'll see all of us, our faculty here, keep doing that, reiterating the same thing. You have just arrived in the physical space of MICA, you need to be arrived there. So this is 4 stages of here, you are here at this point, pre-MICA admission and all that. So congratulate each other, do that, wear that in your sleeves that you have arrived at MICA, but these 2 weeks is going to give the lens to you, see yourself, as all of us said, hydrate yourself, eat well, do gymming, whatever you want to do, but this 1 year, 2 year, 4 years of MICA is going to shape you who you are in that end of year 1, year 2 or year 4. So that's of course, once you are there, you are there. So just quickly give you that what is there. So cluster 2, you have been listening about MICA lens and all of that. Maybe I am repeating it 5th time, but tomorrow we'll get into, because there are 20 sessions planned for you. 20 sessions, 20 hours, and of course with that why this is important. It's not about these 5 Cs, it rhymes well, it's fine, and it is tension, dichotomy, geopolitics, environment, emerging threat, human centricity, goes well by title of MICA lens, but why we need it? How we are going to use it if somebody from some other B school sees that the same problem, is there different way you can see that? So essentially that 5C framework or this MICA studio we talk about MICA lens, this not only terms, but in orientation we have 20 sessions for you. And maybe it will be taken by 7 different faculty members to tell you why it is like this, why we wanted to craft the next 2 years to see the curriculum through this lens. Cluster 3, that when we talk about tooling, numeracy and all of that, different programs, different requirements, different need, different kind of problem solving. Hence, if you see the first one, reading, writing, presentation, सोचोगे इसमें क्या है, मैं तो करता ही हूँ. It's not about reading, writing and presentation, it's about what to read, how to read and why to read. So you will see that the again lenses of doing that orientation is all about that, to give you the lens to see that why that reading, what I am writing. And you know that writing is no matter nowadays with the social media and TikTok and reels and all of that, writing has seen a different context altogether, verbal and non-verbal communication and all that. You will see that how writing enables you to do what. Again, the presentation skills and all of that. Then there are so many sessions also planned around that, and the next about tooling and techniques, where you need to understand that we all talk about AI, multi-platforms and LLMs and layers, but what at MICA we see and what are the lenses we see through these tools and techniques, be it industry readiness workshop, be it case study methods, or so for School of Applied Creativity, Adobe creative tools. All of this is crafting together to see you, enable you, these tools, these techniques would enable in your curriculum next 22 months. Then while we are talking about AI, LLMs and all of that, we realize that it's not about LLMs, it's about how to do that. So there is a platform called Commerce, in a UK based platform. They do multi-layer LLM to create business strategy and solutions. So we wanted to take them on board, not as a one of the tools, but ensure our curriculum also go through the process of that. So in most cases, all of you will get the commerce access for next 2 years to ensure that how to use these for different kind of problem solving, and there are classes and all this scheduled here. Then by the end of the day, number matters, be it PNL or be it your CTC or wherever you want to calculate. So we wanted that should also go to numeracy, MS Office, Excel, and all of these arithmetics and all of that to be part of the orientation program. So hence there are sessions scheduled around that. Cluster 4, this is all about academic code of conduct, because I would sincerely suggest before you sign in the DG campus and we get that you have actually gone through that student manual. And then the only suggestion from me to all of you is go through every word of that. You will miss one word, and that one word may be going to create trouble for you after the term 1 or term 2 or year 1. Please go through the details. So it is divided into 3 parts: academic conduct, how you are going to do things, what you are going to do and what not to do in the premises of academic conduct, and assessment and learning assurance. It's not about teaching you or you are engaging, how we are going to evaluate you or how you are going to get the output from the learning what we are doing. Then of course their academic calendar, you need to know all of that. Then cluster 5 is about institutional code of conduct and well-being, because while we plan all of that, your well-being do matter to us. We do really think about your well-being, and you need to understand with all these classroom sessions, your case competition and all of that. So we'll talk about institutional code of conduct and well-being in next 15 days, which includes, I am not reading all of that. Give me a second. Yeah, it's all about anti-drugs, narcotics, medical, mental wellness, anti-ragging, universal human values, KEIC, MICA knowledge system and all of that. So cluster 6 and 7, infrastructure, data and statutory. So we may like it or hate it, we have to do it, because so we need to go through all the processes of how all of you need to be familiarized with all these processes and infrastructure and people. So all the departments, everyone will come and introduce themselves to you. And finally, coming to the cluster where we see that how this journey creates 3 different pathways for you. That of course, when you will be an alum, you will be coming to in different career pathways. Many of you would love to be in corporate, and that's the pathway we'll talk about through summer internships and final placements. And I am sure when you are preparing for MBA, you must be aware that how summer internship projects are every day becoming important, and in next 1 month's time, you are going to see the processes begin at MICA in the process of selecting for summer internship for next summer. Then final placement we'll discuss in details. Then last 2 is about, many of you must have the dream of being an entrepreneur. So we would like to enable you in that process. So there is an entrepreneurial pathway, and some of you, like Jaya was mentioning, that some of our MICA alums are doing really good being in higher education and academics. Some of you may like to, of course, other than our doctoral students, PGP student may like to get into higher education. So we do have a track, career pathway for higher education. So that's all from my side. So welcome to the next 22 months of 1070 sessions. So we look forward to meeting you. So thank you.
Thank you, Santosh, for laying the ground out so clearly and so lucidly. There is someone amongst us here who has been really, really kind and has given us his time, very, very precious time, our chief guest, Mr. Rao. And we would like to introduce him, although it is very difficult to do that job with people like him who are so accomplished, and I invite Professor Suresh to do the honors. He is Associate Dean Knowledge, and we talk about knowledge. What you get in the classroom which is generated and disseminated. Over to you, Suresh.
Good afternoon, everyone. So it's my honor and privilege to introduce our chief guest today, Mr. B.V. Rao. It's a difficult task to introduce him, as Shubhra just said, but I can promise you one thing, that he will connect with you as if he's also a millennial. Mr. Rao is a distinguished journalist, editor, commentator, news and communication professional, and is currently the group consulting editor of India Today Digital. He brings with him an extraordinary career of more than 42 years in journalism, but don't go by his age. He can beat a Gen Alpha. So his career has moved across many phases and formats of the Indian media. I think the one word that best describes him is multiple. He has seen multiple media, be it print, broadcast, and digital. He has worked through multiple formats, broadsheets, tabloids, morningers, eveningers, weeklies, fortnightlies, you name it. He has worked across multiple cities that also include Ahmedabad, Chennai, Bangalore, Baroda, Rajkot, Mumbai, and Delhi. He is master at multiple languages, English, Hindi to name with, Telugu, Tamil, and he has working familiarity with Kannada, Gujarati, and not to forget Marathi. And above all, he has been with multiple leading news brands. So multiple, I think, is one word that describes him the best. Mr. Rao's professional journey started in June 1984 at News Today, at Chennai afternoon newspaper, under the able leadership of respected journalist T.R. Ramaswamy. Since then, he has spent more than 4 decades in newsrooms, working with organizations of different size, be it a small organization or a large organization. And he became editor at a very young age of 28. And since then, he has worked with more than 12 publications and news platforms. And there is something interesting which he will share very soon with you. So over the years, he had held senior editorial positions across some of India's most prominent media organizations, and I will avoid taking name of all of those because it's a long list, and I'm really worried if I miss something, he might feel offended. What makes Mr. Rao's presence especially meaningful today is that his career is also a story of the transformation of Indian journalism itself. From print deadlines and city editions to television newsrooms, like 24 hours news channels, digital platforms, and the contemporary challenge of speed, credibility, trust, and public communication. His presence is particularly valuable because he represents a rare combination of editorial depth, professional versatility, institutional memory, and contemporary relevance. He understands journalism not only as a reporting and editing, but also as judgment, responsibility, public reasoning, and communication in society. So at a time when media, technology, public opinion, and communications are changing rapidly, we are fortunate to have with us someone who has worked at the highest level of the Indian journalism and communication across format, geographies, languages, and institutions. So friends, join with me. Welcome Mr. B.V. Rao.
Thank you. And I do invite our Director and CEO, Ms. Jaya, to present a token of our appreciation to him and with gratitude from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you, thank you. And now over to the chief guest and no one between the two of us.
Okay, before I begin the formal speech that I've got, I must tell you, if I were a student sitting there, not in front row, but there among you, and I had just cleared MICA, the exam, and I heard Santosh tell you what he told me, I would quietly have texted, Papa, take me home tomorrow. मुझे नहीं करना है. There's something, I don't know, is there anybody who knows Tamil in this group? Yeah. There's a saying in Tamil, Vambu velakki vaangina. Give me a minute. Okay, respected director Jayaji, I won't take all the names of the faculty. In a journey of your future, parts, nervous, eager, excited, expectant, and thanks to Santosh, fearful. Right? I think if, once again, let me tell you this, if I had got that ice cold bath, right, I would be shivering. Right? But anyway, you guys have taken it very well, you're very brave. I'm also somewhere there, very close to you, because this is also my first commencement lecture. I've never done this before. So I'm also equally excited and worried. Excited because it's a nice thing to share your moment. This moment, remember this moment, is a very big moment for you. To share your moment is very exciting. And the worry is if I will be able to make it worthwhile for you. Right? I don't want you to think, "Ara buddha aaya tha, kuch bola chala gaya." Okay, so that's my worry. But then, there's one fact, or one thing that people say about you, the generation, that gives me confidence. You are supposedly Gen Z, some of you might be Gen Alpha also. But is there any Gen Alpha in this? Not yet, because they need the yeah. Description, I don't know. I don't totally agree with it. I think it's unfair. Our generations try to apply our rules to you, so maybe we keep telling you that you're in a tearing hurry, you get easily bored, right, all that. But if that is anywhere close to near correct, then you and I are going to get along like a house on fire. I say that even though we are at the opposite ends of the age spectrum, right? I'm almost gone. You're just arriving. Right? If Gen Z is impatient, gets bored easily, and is prone to kicking jobs, in your case, it's not exactly jobs. Whatever you do, maybe your hobbies change every minute, right? You have been beaten hollow already. You have met your match. in me. I have resigned 21 times. I have quit 21 jobs. So, in 42 years. Okay. So, I would be what you in your lingo, language, slang would call okay. In the movie Diwar, how many have you seen Diwar? Do you know what the movie is? Yeah. Do you know the dialogue? The iconic dialogue? What is it? Yes, who said that? Yeah, mere paas maa hai. So, Shashi Kapoor in Diwar demolishes, for those of you who are unfamiliar, demolishes Amitabh Bachchan when Amitabh Bachchan says, mere paas ye hai, wo hai, wo hai, tumhare paas kya hai? So, he simply says, mere paas maa hai. So, let's first listen to the dialogue for people who have not heard it.
ये वही मैं हूं और ये वही तुम हो। हम दोनों एक साथ इस फुटपाथ से उठे थे, लेकिन आज तुम कहां रह गए और मैं कहां गया। आज मेरे पास बिल्डिंग है, प्रॉपर्टी है, बैंक बैलेंस है, बंगला है, गाड़ी है, क्या है तुम्हारे पास? मेरे पास मां है।
Okay, now cut to present times. If Amitabh Bachchan were to ask me that, मेरे पास बंगला है, गाड़ी है, ये है, वो है, तुम्हारे पास क्या है, हैं? What would I tell him?
देखो, ये वही मैं हूं और ये वही तुम हो। हम दोनों एक साथ इस फुटपाथ से उठे थे, लेकिन आज तुम कहां रह गए और मैं कहां गया। आज मेरे पास बिल्डिंग है, प्रॉपर्टी है, बैंक बैलेंस है, बंगला है, गाड़ी है, क्या है तुम्हारे पास?
मेरे पास 21 इस्तीफे हैं भाई।
Yeah, मेरे पास 21 इस्तीफे हैं भाई. So you get the drift. I was the original Gen Z. Decades before the word came into being. But then, what I am to you is actually a very steep challenge. If you have to get to where I am, look at that. Right? That is nirvana, 21. So if you beat me, call me if I'm around. Right? But by the way, where are the parents sitting? This side, this side? Piche, na? Good. So I'll go up here. They'll be ready to lynch me the moment I go. Yeah. So, parents and teachers must be very worried where I'm taking this. If I'm totally grounding their, what is it called? Orientation program. But don't worry. I might seem like I'm provoking you to be impatient, knee-jerk, unstable, quit jobs at a drop of a hat and all that. I will address the parents' concerns towards the end of my speech. For the present, I have my own concerns. Your director met me in Delhi in Jan. I think she had, that's what I like about her, she was there for the AI conference. Right? Yeah. And she took time to meet the entire horde of journalists in Film City, right? So that's when she met me. And we have I think we have the most beautiful building in the entire Film City. It's called the India Today Mediaplex. I think she was overawed by the brilliance of the building, and in a moment of weakness, invited me to be here. right? I thought, January में पूछ रही हैं, June end का है, वापस जाएंगी, she'll look at her own campus, which is also very brilliant, and forget to kind of follow up. Or maybe she would think that, let's call somebody of standing, stature, right? Distinguished. But the good thing is, either your director is a very nice person who makes a commitment and she doesn't let go of that, which is very nice, or she is, or the world generally is short of achievers. Right? By that I mean achievers, people who have 21 resignations in their bag. She wouldn't find, I'm telling you, you will not find anybody like me. So here I am. I don't know if Director Jayaji and the faculty realizes what a grave situation they have kind of got me into. I say that because the average attention span of the Instagram generation, not the Gen Z, the Instagram generation, which is all of us, including me, including your parents, including your grandparents, right? So the average attention span of the Instagram generation is 3 seconds. 3 seconds. And I have been asked to talk to you and keep you engaged for 30 minutes. Can you imagine the impossibility of the job? It is the equivalent of 600 real years. So I don't know how I'm going to do that, but as I said, the brave never let go, right? So I will be at it. So let's get to the more serious end of the conversation. We are in the throes of major changes. I think your director, dean, everybody spoke of changes. Especially brought in by AI. AI is appending everything that we know, right? In newsrooms also we are struggling on how to keep up with it. But we are doing what we are doing. Since so much is going on about how fast things are changing, I thought I should talk about change generally, right, to you. What is that? And in so doing, I will try not to advise you, because seeing that my own children have stopped taking my advice decades ago, I do not expect you to take any advice from me. I will just tell you what I have been through, what I have seen through, and what I have learned from all that. You can either take it or leave it, right? Good Gen Z attitude, take it or leave it. Mostly leave it. So when you talk of change, it's almost a ritual to quote Heraclitus, who said, change is the only constant. Heraclitus was a Greek philosopher, so his quote is also philosophical. But philosophy is mostly the end of life occupation of people like me. I should be worrying about philosophy, right? You are just starting out. So I don't want to burden you with philosophical quotes. So I need to see a more useful quote. And then there is one other, which is actually a homegrown Atmanirbhar quote of Mahatma Gandhi. Anybody wants to guess what he said? Did you say be the change you wish to see in the world, right? So Gandhiji, from the faraway philosophy, he brought it down to direct political action. That is the context in which he was speaking. But that is also not what we want here, right? Some of you might actually become politicians later, but we don't want political action right here. Right? So, but why did I pick these two quotes? Is because the two of the most well-known quotes about change were never said the way they were said. They are an ode to change itself, because they said something else which became over the years, over the centuries, into these very bumper sticker kind of easy to consume quotes. They were not this, they said something else. Same with Gandhi. In Gandhi's case, the context also was changed, right? Okay. As for me, you already know that I couldn't change much in this world. So what did I do? I changed jobs, right? 21 jobs. So, but that's also not what I should be talking to you about, because I'll be lynched on my way back home. So I want to talk to you about change that has impacted, change that I have seen that has impacted not just our lives, the way the country behaves, the way we all behave, the way what we consume and what we reject. So I am going to take you through how the concept of news, which is my profession, changed from the good to the absurd, to the even more absurd, to the ever more absurd, right? To explain this, I'll give you what I call a dog news analogy. This, in the morning, there was a cat here, right? We wanted it, but director chose not to allow cats this time. But this I see is a very, very animal friendly campus. So disclaimer is necessary. In this dog news analogy, no animals were injured. Okay. So when I began my career in 1984, the prevailing wisdom in the newsrooms was dog bites man is news. Then it changed. I'll not put years and others. I'll just kind of go through this quickly. Next, we needed, because how many times can a man has been bitten by a dog make news and you will read it, right? So we needed a little bit of masala. So what's that? Man gets rabies. Dog bites man, man gets rabies is now news, because a little more drama, a little more masala, as I said. Not enough. Ram naam satya hai. So now, dog bites man, man gets rabies, man dies of rabies. Only then it would be news. But now we have come to almost 2000, 2001, which is the time that 24/7 news channels began in India, streaming. But when a big change like that happens, there are big demands on news. How did that change? Man bites dog. News turned on its head, right? Are we satisfied? Is that enough? No, a little more. Man bites dog, dog gets rabies. Improbable as it is. Okay? Because news suddenly lost all grounding in fact. Okay? But that's also not enough, because now we are in social media generation. Now we are at social media generation. So what do we need? Yeah, this we did. We didn't do this? This is done. So, now what did we need? Dog dies a dog's death. Right? And we have to go live because we need to do reels. Right? So, that is where journalism, how the degradation of news happened in this country, and that's why a whole lot of things changed in the country too. Right, give me a second, my screen is off, yeah. So I took you through this only not to deride my own profession. I am part of all this change. I cannot kind of dissociate myself from this. A lot of blame also. I'm responsible for not being able to stop it, right? So I wanted this to bring to your notice to talk about the learnings that I have had from this. Learning one, not all change is good. The way news has changed over the last 4 decades is not good for our health or the country's. It happened nonetheless, right? Learning two, good or bad, you have to respond to change. Not responding is not an option. You might not even like or appreciate where the change is taking you. You might choose to resist it, but not being aware of change or ignoring it is suicidal. Some of the organizations that I served chose not to completely submit to this dangerous slide. We are now seeing the benefits of holding out as more and more readers are getting sick of the nonsense on social media. Social media is my biggest competitor now, right? Or the other way, right? And we are losing out. But once again, there's a change that's happening, discernible change that's happening. People are now suspecting social media. Slowly, we might be back in business. Learning three, if you have noticed, print came to India somewhere in late 1780 plus. So it's 18th century, late 18th century. Late 18th century to 2000, print held forte. But when TV came, TV took over. But TV lasted, the best period of TV lasted all of 6 years. And then websites started happening, digital started happening. Come 2015, 2016, you had a social media explosion and everything is social media now. So the change, the cycle of change has become faster and faster and faster. So that's what I call change is happening at the speed of an Insta reel right now. So you have to be at the top of your game all the time. Look out for change, right? Because I tell that to you because I missed it once, and I'll just tell you what I missed. You need to catch, if this is whatever news was changing or whatever, if it is a change graph, if you catch that on this end, on the left end of the cliff, you are safe. You are moving with the change. You have incorporated change and you are traveling with it. But if you are here, then it's a deadly fall. You just go down here and everything else will go. So which side of change are you? Are you traveling with change is what is going to be very, very important. Success and change are two different things. Why I say that? I was having a very successful print career. I missed the arrival of TV. I joined TV later, like I think in my biodata, you know I worked with Star News, Z News, blah, 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 so many news. But the thing with change is, however good you are, if you miss change and you catch up later, change does not reward latecomers or laggards. It moves on. Right? And then you'll have to do 100 million things to catch up. Catch up is not a great thing to do. So be on top. So that's why I spoke about all this. Then there's another reason why I cited this dog news analogy. The original purpose of news was to inform and enrich. But the news media strayed away from that pristine. It's a very noble cause. Inform, enrich. Public service was what is the job of media. We moved away from that. And we got into eyeball grabbing journalism. Luckily, as I just said, now social media does a much better job of providing trash. Right? So now we have, and because we can't compete with that, you guys, as in Gen Z and a whole lot of other people, have said get lost to traditional media. And that's a great thing that's happening right now. You are not watching news channels, you are not reading newspapers, I know all that. That is what is the good thing that is happening now, because we are now thinking very, very hard on how to gain people back, how to actually get our journalism back up there and get enough eyeballs back to sensible news, news that you need to know in a manner that is not overpowering opinion, one-way opinion. 360-degree opinion is fine, right? So that's what people are generally working at now. Then I'll take you to another analogy, which is to do with the change in news again, in a different change. For this analogy I called news and underwear analogy. Sometimes major changes happen, but the essence remains. So you must know what to change, how much to change, and what to preserve. This is where this analogy comes handy. In 1999, I was invited to a Rotary Club event in Mumbai. Internet has just broken, just like AI has just now. Internet had broken, and the expectation was that because instant news would be available, accessible to everybody, newspapers would instantly die, because newspapers come once a day, right? In that context, the Rotary Club of Bombay invited me to talk about the impending death of newspapers. Years later, I wrote about this incident in a blog in Exchange for Media, and I quote myself from there with very minor edits. I said to the audience at that time, with apologies to all girls and ladies in the audience, I'll respond with a rather uncomfortable analogy. I said, fashion changed from flowing gowns to full-length gowns, to skirts, to minis, to micro minis, and then from full-length pants to capris to shorts to, what are these called? Hot pants, yeah, I forgot. Hot pants. And what have you? But one thing never changed. What is it? Right? This, the most important piece of clothing, that has not changed. So, what I'm trying to tell you here is, newspaper is the underwear of journalism. It's intimate, personal, and bare essential. They will never be, this is what I told that group there, they will never be out of fashion, will never be discarded. Now, this is almost 27 years, I said this, Now we are in 27 years later. I think I'm right. I'm proud to say I'm right, because even after 27 years of bombardment of television and digital and social media, print has survived, and survived rather honorably. There have been moments where there's a lot of dishonor attached, but rather, and they are the ones who are actually now making much more profitable than even the television channels. Most television channels don't make money, by the way. Only the top. I'm proud to say I belong to one of that groups, Aaj Tak and India Today. Yeah. The learning from this, change, but smartly. Even underwear underwent change. What is it? What is the change? We now call it lingerie. Right? So everything needs change. Nothing can be kind of stuck in time forever. But though it became lingerie, underwear still does its core job of protecting our modesty. That has never changed. Right? So that is why when Santosh or Ma'am Hegde was telling you about the core, the lens, right? The mica lens and the core, and do whatever you have to do later. But these 15 days of this orientation, pay attention, because the attempt there is to imbibe the DNA of mica into you. And that is what will take you years and years later. This is what will be what you are. Right? This will define you. This will define Micans, right? So spend that time. Give it all you've got. These 15 days are very important, right? Now, I'm coming to the last segment, which is where I try to patch up with your parents. Right? This is my appeal to them that I'm not bad. I'm not poisoning your children's minds. I'm a good guy. I'm an honorable editor. Right? So I've so far told you that how many jobs I have quit, how many resignations I have in my bag. I deliberately held back one thing from you. How many appointment letters do I have? Any guesses? 22. Now, 22A, which means I still have a job. Right? So it's not about how many times you quit. Have you done enough good work in the last job to get you the next job? Right? And why did this happen? Why were, if I quit 21 times, why the hell were people hiring me? I might have done something right. Okay. So what is that something that I did right? I'll just show you. This is a message from Tariq Ansari. You can see that. I'll play that again. So could you read that? I'll just try to freeze it fast. Oh no. Technology. नहीं उसको रोकना हाँ रोक हाँ बस या सी फाइनली you used the word technology tech optimism so that's me Venkat Tariq Ansari is was at that time the promoter and owner of Midday Bombay guys will know how many Bombay guys here. Oh, wow. So, I was leaving Midday for another job. this is what he said. Sorry to see you go. Thank you for your inputs in Delhi midday. I was in Delhi. Above and beyond the call of duty. Remember these words. These have stuck with me. This is what? 89. Right? So 11 plus 26. This is 37 years ago. But this is what I live and die for. If such an endorsement comes, then the word spreads within the industry, within the professional circles, people will know what you are. So then they won't worry. I've quit jobs in 3.5 months. For no job that I went, I quit because I was not good or the organization was not good. Organizations had troubles, so I left. But the next job was always there because they trusted me to do this. Above and beyond the call of duty. Above and beyond the call of duty is a very interesting use of phrase. What it means is that I worked so hard. In fact, as those days, we were required to work 6 hours a day. Quite a Gen Z thing to do, right? Just imagine you guys working only 6 hours. You dreamt of it, right? We used to do that. 6 hours. But I was in office not less than 14 hours every day. My marriage was on a particular day, I think July 31st. And July 30th, I was in office at 6 and I came back July 31st, 2 a.m., just 3 hours before my wedding. Yes, the wedding happened. Okay, so it might sound crazy, but yeah, possibly it is crazy too. But the thing that happened was in 3 years flat of my first few years, I gathered the experience of 6 years. Believe you me, in this room, there will be 1 or 2 of us who's brilliant. World is full of averages, right? 1 or 2 will be brilliant. The thing about brilliant people is that they're not brilliant right through the year or right through the day. They're brilliant once in a while. Organizations require the brilliant people, but organizations require the average, above average, and who will extend much more. That is what organizations are looking for, right? So you do that, you give that to the organization. In fact, I also say that all the hard work that you do, the biggest beneficiary is you. Organization benefits as a byproduct, right? Because I enriched myself. Nobody told me to work. It wasn't somebody was holding a kind of a gun to my head, but I did this nonetheless. So do that. Hard work can actually differentiate. See, if I do that. This is the appraisal season also. What happens is if I have 10 people to appraise, and all of them have done a given job very well, similarly, right? But I have only so much money to give in increments. What would I do? Either all of them will give 100 rupees divided by 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 rupees, right? Or if there is 1 or 2 guys who I think whenever I have trouble, whenever I need somebody, some hands on the deck, this person or this girl is always there in office, right? So that is where you create your difference, by stretching yourself, by applying, giving more of your time and more of yourself to the job, not to the company. I think we always get confused. यार ये company के लिए कौन इतना करेगा? Company के लिए नहीं, अपने लिए करेंगे, ठीक है? So with that, all I have to say is go out there, change the world. If that's not possible, don't change jobs like me. Change with the world too. That's also an option. Change with the world, right? Great. That's it. I think I'm done. So thank you all very much. Have a great, great 2 years. You were a wonderful audience, and I think you're going to be a fantastic batch. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you very much. It was such a powerful masterclass in change, the evolution of media, evolution of human, not only human consumers in different cultural contexts, but also in general human beings and lives around us from 18th century to now. So thank you so much, Mr. Rao, for being with us, Venkat, for being with us and giving such an important message to the batch. You have actually, we are all professors, so we will give you grade. So you got 100 on 100 on your first commencement speech. Now I invite our CMO and Professor Ruchi Tiwari to make a...
Tell them one thing I want to tell, which I forgot. See, I lied to you. This was not my first commencement speech. This was my second in a day. Okay. I gave the same speech to the morning batch, the other school, right? So much for change.
Thank you so much. So over to Professor Ruchi Tiwari for making some announcements which will give you the glimpse of what MICA does constantly to innovate. And over to you, Ruchi.
Thank you. So good evening, borderline good night from a lot of us. We've been here for a while now. But yes, the energy kind of gets everybody alive. I'm here to talk about two changes. One that's been with us for a long while, and we've been constantly sprucing it up to ensure that it stays contemporary and relevant. That's MICA Vani. A lot of you have talked about it. You've seen that on our website. And this year, we relaunched the MICA Vani. So what I will present for you is a short glimpse of everything that we will pack in. So MICA Vani has been completely focused on community, but the community has changed. What the community talks, what they want to listen has changed. And therefore, we've kind of synced MICA Vani to that. A lot of AI has got integrated, and a piece of that is what I share with you.
हेलो हेलो हेलो, मैं हूं आपका दोस्त और होस्ट आरजे अमर, और अब वक्त है आपको सुनाने का माइका वाणी के शानदार कार्यक्रमों की एक छोटी सी झलक। तो जुड़े रहिए, क्योंकि यहाँ हर आवाज में है एक नई कहानी, एक नया एहसास।
તો કેમ છો વાલી બહેનો, મજામાં ને? હવે આજે આપણે મહિલા વૃત્તિકા યોજના વિશે વાત કરવાના છીએ. આ જે યોજના છે ગુજરાત સરકારના બાગાયતી વિભાગ દ્વારા ચલાવવામાં આવે છે, અને આ યોજના હેઠળ મહિલાઓને વિવિધ પ્રકારના શાકભાજી અને ફળોની ખેતી વિશે ટેકનિકલ નોલેજ આપવામાં આવે છે.
Did Bajirao really get his Mastani? Find out. Only on 90.4 FM. MICA Vani.
તમે ટ્યુન કર્યું છે 90.4 FM MICA વાણી. આજે આપણી સાથે કવિતા શાહ જોડાયા છે. વાર્તા કહેવાની જે કળા છે એના ઇતિહાસ વિશે આપણા દર્શકોને વાત કરશો.
જેમ કે હું તમને કહું કે આપણે દાદા દાદીથી નાનપણમાં વાર્તાઓ સાંભળી છે, પણ વાર્તા એટલે શું? કમ્યુનિકેશન.
90.4 FM माइका वानी पे ये गाना मैं डेडिकेट करता हूँ मेरी वाइफ को।
बड़े अच्छे लगते हैं।
So that's a snapshot. We will reach out to you to become a part of MICA Vani. We cater to the community around, and around MICA we have a very thriving community, hospitals, Anganwadis, women. We talk of all of those issues, so we will need a lot of your support to keep this going. This will now be playing on our campus at Chota, morning and evening 3 hours. So enjoy the radio. This is all for free. along with this year, we've started this initiative of what we call the podcast, and we like to keep it simple, so we call it the MICA Podcast. I'm sharing with you a glimpse again of a couple of sessions that we've recorded. It's after today that we will go live, we'll go on air, and then there is a calendarized event, and you will be seeing the podcast, a part of that for you.
Welcome to the MICA Podcast. Welcome to the MICA Podcast. This is where we have conversations with a special MICAN lens about creativity, communication, culture, commerce, and community. MICA already has a very strong community, one which we'd like to invite you to experience from this podcast and contribute to the conversation as well. Do you have a muse? Do you believe in the concept of a muse?
What do you mean by a muse?
You know, the muse is something that you have to, kind of invoke from the heavens, and it could be female, it could be male. It is basically some sort of source or divine intervention. I don't know.
I think my muse is fear.
Fear? Interesting.
Yeah. Because you put fear inside you and then you have to overcome it with hope. And fear and hope go together. So fear becomes a muse, most of us, if you really look down upon it.
So when did you realize you were different?
I didn't know. That's one thing. I never knew I was different. Because you're part of the culture, right? A fish, if we say black fish among all the, goldfish, the blackfish thing is a part of it because he's not seeing. He thinks, okay, my friends are that thing. And they also makes you behave like this. Like in college I used to call crazy. I have a name called cartoon, magician, I had a call called joker, I had a call called any possible name he was given, but every class he was going because you're constantly on the wall, I didn't realize, or cracking jokes or telling stories or seeing things differently that others are not seeing it.
Have you used ChatGPT? What do you think about ChatGPT? Do you think storytellers should use ChatGPT?
So I think in terms of efficiency, in terms of formatting, definitely AI is a big help.
Yeah.
Where AI doesn't help and should not help also is the story is fundamentally yours. But what happens is people are so used to saying, you know what, give me a story.
Yeah.
That's not it.
That sucks. Yeah.
Give it a context, give it a reason, give it a premise, give it an incident, give it something, give it. Honestly, context makes such a difference.
Yeah, I think one thing I would love to talk about is how this journey changed me as a person. Right?
Love to know that.
Yeah, I think in my relationships, I was always the self-sufficient one. Or I was the giver and I wanted to give and take care and make sure things were always in order, right? And through this, during the initial days of the diagnosis, also I imagined that I would do that. But I can't tell you the magic with which friends turned up. I ended up creating what I thought would be a small group called my 3 a.m. connection, right?
What's about this 18-minute magic? Like, why not a 15 or why not a 20? Why 18?
The original concept of the 18 minutes was that if you ask someone to speak for 15 minutes, they speak for 20 minutes. If you ask for 20, they speak for 25 or 30.
Okay.
And so, one part of it is by asking for 18 minutes, people pay attention to that. They're like, well, that's very specific. And it's like, yes.
Okay.
And if you speak beyond that, we will turn off the camera.
Okay.
That sort of makes them think a bit more about it. That 18 minutes was around the maximum that someone would...
Attention.
Not just attention, but sort of like focused attention, that they could really keep retaining information and go beyond that. But this is all, of course, quite dated.
Wow, what a conversation, huh? Some great takeaways. We're going to try and live up to the start we've made and invite exciting guests like Shekhar Kapoor here. If you have anyone specific in mind you want us to get here, let us know and do spread the word around. Like, subscribe, comment, do the good thing and make this lens spread its goodness to as many people as possible. Let's make this community big. Go on, do something creative and amazing today.
So when we launch this, you know what you have to do, right? Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much.
So we have a wonderful speakers, so much of powerhouse of experiences, learnings, and all this is possible because of one word which is, I think, should be central to all our lives, which is gratitude. And in top-rated universities, including within India, but we generally tend to talk about Harvard, Princeton, MIT, they're having workshops on holistic well-being, and gratitude becomes one of the major parts. So when I am doing this, it is not a part of a duty. I take it very seriously from the bottom of my heart. This wouldn't have been possible if these people who are not on the stage, who are probably not even here in this room, would have helped us and supported us. So in no particular order, but in order of importance, this is the IT team. Sumit Bhai, a big shout out to you and your team. Finance team, Vinit Bhai, Mr. Vinit Shah. Library team. Dr. Chintan Pandya and team, and you have they will keep you nurtured, well cared. And a big round of applause for Professor Ruchi and Professor Taral's team over there. I'm sure you must have met all of them. And the marketing team. The beautiful videos and the links through which your parents or family back home can see you here, sitting in this beautiful auditorium. And the admin team. This is the audio-visual team. Praful Bhai, a big round of applause for Praful Bhai, who's right there. Manu, if you're around, and Ranjit, if you're around. And this is Registrar Office team. You will meet all of us tomorrow, but there is one, one big community that we also need to thank, and that's what our director has been talking about, and so many, which is the community of MICAns, the 5,000 plus MICAns. And now we have a little surprise for you, but before that, I want to thank from the bottom of our hearts and on behalf of everybody, the parents and family members who produced such a grand.
Exactly 85 days ago, when these corridors were filled with goodbyes, with hugs held a little longer, with photographs trying to hold on to time, with one bat stepping out into the world carrying memories, friendships and dreams. And as those tolls rose into the sky with celebration, another story had quietly already begun to unfold. Over the last 10 weeks, this campus has been preparing for you, quietly, carefully, patiently, tirelessly in temperatures that shot above 45 degrees, because we knew that beyond the buildings and the walls that we were creating, there was something deeper. We wanted to build a place for new friendships, new ideas, new ambitions, and new beginnings. And lo, here we are. Therefore, this day feels so special. For you, your friends, family, and for all of us. It's the excitement in your eyes, the nervousness in your hearts. For both you and your family carrying pride and emotions. For some, it could be just the first goodbye. And for several others, it's the dream imagined for years.
बहुत अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस है और यहाँ का एनवायरनमेंट देख के तो आनंद आ गया, मतलब एक मन को अनुभूति मिली कि नहीं यार बच्ची हमारी बहुत मजे से कर लेगी।
तो और देखिए रूम का टेंशन था कि कैसे बच्ची रहेगी या क्या, लेकिन इतना अच्छा लगा कि अब हम बेफिक्र हो गए हैं।
We came this morning to MICA and the admission process was absolutely fine. It was very smooth, and after that the room allocation and everything was done. So we came to the room. The room is so well organized and planned.
We are feeling as if we are in a retreat, we are in a resort. So we have seen a lot of langur, we have seen a lot of like birds, moor वगैरह सभी चीजें दिख रही हैं यहाँ पे, तो मतलब this has been a very pleasant experience overall.
The experience was really good, very smooth, and we love the campus. It's so nice and green that we're not having enough of it. हमें लग रहा है हम भी यहीं रह जाएं.
It is here in these pathways that you will make memories. These rooms will become stories and strangers will become lifelong friends. Because campus is not just infrastructure. It is the conversations you have, the curiosity you share, the creativity you exhibit, and the community you make. Slowly, without even realizing, this place will turn you into a MICAN. We wish you the very best and hope that over the next 2 years, we will be able to come together to shape the way we listen, how we question, how we imagine, stand along through uncertainty, and learn together. Put in our hard work, and in every conversation, collaboration, friendship, disagreement, and new beginning, we live the MICA values, the values of being dialogic, curious, empathetic, inclusive, and above all, full of fortitude. Welcome to this journey. Welcome to MICA. Welcome to the age of imagination.
Dinner. Now for dinner, please invite your parents also, join us in Plaza, and the team will guide you to the place. All of us, everybody is invited for dinner. Thank you.